Welcome to the P2 exam tips for December 2016. So like we have a 100-mark exam and 3 hours and 15 minutes to do it. Please remember, from this exam sitting onwards, you have 15 minutes that you can start writing on the answer scripts. So you have 1.95 minutes per mark. With regards to the two sections, let's first discuss about section A, where you would have a 35 mark on a consolidation. That consolidation could be anything from a SOFP to an income statement or a cash flow. Personally, what I think for this exam sitting, there are higher chances of income statement or a statement of financial position being tested. Make sure you practice both of those from the revision kit that we did those in our classes. If it's the income statement, please remember to practice the disposals, the transactions within equity, and possibly a foreign exchange as well. Make sure you know your workings very well. You spend time on your group structure. Even with regards to the statement of financial position, if it's the SOFP, you know your 5 workings very well. And you've practiced them so that you can do them very quickly as well. The key bit in your question 1 is not to get bogged down in trickier adjustments. You must make sure that you're sticking with your time, because it's so easy to just go over the time allocated for that 35 marker. So keep looking at the clock, make sure you are sticking to your time management. And remember, most of the marks are for those first 3 notes that we have in our question 1. Yes, the adjustments are important. Some of them might be tricky, but do whatever you can and move on quickly to the part B and part C. Part C of that exam is always going to be around ethics. Make sure that you attempt that part. Discuss about what is the unethical bit happening in that scenario. Address that ethical or that professional issues that are being tested in that part C. I recommend sometimes people to even start off with that part C, because there are good 6 or 7 marks available in that part. Make sure, like I said, you stick to your time in that question 1. Most students invariably run out of time or overrun the time in that question 1. Moving on to section B. Section B, you have 3 questions, of which you're going to answer 2. Question 2 and 3 are similar in nature. They focus on the accounting standards. And the way we need to approach that, if you remember, is to first write the knowledge and then apply your knowledge into that scenario. Make sure you do both these aspects. Not only just write the knowledge or jump into the scenario, you do mix of both in each and every part. For that, ensure that you know all your accounting standards. You at least know the summaries of the accounting standards so that you can start off a scenario. I don't recommend you to study, cherry pick some standards and choose which ones to study, because if the question revolves around an F7 standard as well, which the examiner likes to do, you wouldn't be able to start that question. Forget about doing the application. So please make sure you go through our tuition notes, you go through the pocket notes, the summaries, so you know what the accounting standard is talking about. Yet again, like I kept saying, and I do emphasize that there will be some scenarios which you might not have seen. There might be some standards or things within standards which you might not be aware of. But it's not about getting everything correct. The P2 exam is about getting most of it correct, most of the scenario correct. So make sure you do that. Make sure you are thinking positively and not getting bogged down by difficult bits. If you do read bits which are difficult, try to reread the scenario, think with a cool head what's happening, and attempt that scenario, talk about that particular scenario. Avoid the temptation of speaking lots and lots and lots about knowledge, which is usually the case when we are slightly nervous as well. We don't really want to apply that scenario. For question 4, which is the current issue question, as we discussed in class, there are a variety of topics that could come up there. But for this sitting, I would think there could be something around disclosures, which there's an article written on the ACCA website, along with about the European securities market as well. They are a slightly long read, but if you do have the time, I would recommend you to have a read through those articles as well. In the end, I would just put down things, they're passing to three key things. And I name it the 3 P's. The first one is practice. Make sure you practice what we've done in class. Practice those revision questions. Practice the questions that I gave you for homework. Second P is the pocket notes, whereby you must know the summaries of the accounting standards, at least. Both the F7 and P2. And the third, for me the most important, is positive thinking. It is so easy to go down the wrong track. It's so easy to become negative in the exam. Think about the eventuality. But please don't do that. Think positively. You will know majority of the things. Stick with your time, and hopefully I will see you guys smiling and pass your exams as well. Good luck.